guys, welcome back to my allotment diaries, or should I say garden diaries, because I'm actually in my back garden again today. I thought I would do a weekly back garden vlog because I am growing a lot of vegetables at home as well, and obviously after my pumpkins all got completely destroyed last time, I kind of felt like being at home today and just dithering about in the garden really and pottering around. It's quite a small back garden. It's a little London terraced Victorian back garden, so it's quite small, but I'm packing in as much as I can, so I'm going to do something to the borders today. It's more of like a cottage garden feel to the borders, and I'm also going to do some vegetable growing and sorting out. I just wanted to show you a product actually that I just received from Amazon. It's called Slug and Snail Control by Richard Jackson. Now, if you know my channel, if you followed me for a while, you might know that I like to use quite humane methods of deterring slugs and snails. I don't like to do anything that kind of kills them, but times have changed and I really want a pumpkin arch and I'm getting really annoyed with them. Now, the reason I ordered these ones is because they're supposed to be quite animal friendly and environmentally friendly. I don't know how true that is. They basically have something in them called iron phosphate, which apparently occurs naturally in nature. Slugs and snails are attracted away from plants to feed on the bait, and they stop feeding and disappear underground. So there are no slime trails or dead slugs and snails left on the soil, and eventually the pellets biodegrade into iron and phosphate, which enriches the soil around your plants, and it's safe to use on both edibles and non-edible plants. There you go. And another thing it's said that I liked about it is that it is not damaging to any other wildlife who eat it. So they would have to eat a lot of this to cause them any kind of like illness and damage, and obviously the slugs and snails, when they eat this, they disappear under the ground, so birds are less likely to come down and eat them. And that's what I liked about it, but I don't know if I'll use it yet. I'd like to know your thoughts on this before I start whacking it around my new pumpkin plants. So let me know, have you ever used this? It's Richard Jackson's Slug and Snail Control, and I'd be really interested to know what your experiences of this are, or what your thoughts are. So, just going to do some jobs around the garden today, and I thought I'd just take you along. A lot of you liked this kind of vlog last time, so I'm just going to get going with it really and just do some gardening jobs. Let's go. Such a nice day today because all I can hear is like the birds. It's so nice actually. It's really, I should have filmed this last week really, when I was like, I'm going to do a nice relaxing vlog, and it was just trains and building work. I'm going to sort out this little bit here. If you can see this little plant here, you can see that the phlox, I think it's called a phlox, behind it is kind of shadowing it now. I can't remember the name of any of these plants. I just picked them up from a garden centre, but I love this one because it's got these beautiful little delicate flowers, and also the foliage is like purple, purpley red, which I think is beautiful. But the big phlox is kind of blocking it a bit, and then I've got some stinging nettles coming up as well, so I'm going to sort this little bit out so that he can have his moment of glory in the garden. Every plant deserves a moment of glory in the garden really, don't they? So let's cut this one back. There you go. See, I think you can see him a bit better now in all his glory. I've cut a little bit of the, I think it's a phlox back, and got rid of most of the stinging nettles which are in a pile here. This is also my kids' sort of play area, so obviously I don't really want stinging nettles around there. But isn't he lovely? Oh look, he's got bindweed on him. I better get that off. That'll bring you down, mate. Oh, there's bindweed everywhere around here, isn't there? Yeah, it's just poking up through there. But anyway, isn't he a lovely, lovely plant? I absolutely love him. So I think what I'll do now is I'll go up and down the borders and just basically clear any weeds and stuff, and just stop things from being too overgrown and shadowing other plants basically. That's what I'm going to do now in this glorious sunshine and blue sky. can see here that I've actually planted these two plants too close together. Most of the plants are planted too close together because when I whacked them in, I just wanted the border to look really full really quickly. This is a Japanese anemone, which shoots up bright pink flowers, and I think this is a salvia. But you can see that they're kind of clashing now, and though it looks quite peaceful here and friendly, this is actually a plant war going on, and they actually hate each other. So I don't know if I can move him yet. I think I might just leave it for this year and they can sort of battle it out, and then next year I'll have to move the salvia over away from him. And just behind here I planted some sweet peas ages ago. This one's sort of growing, and then I accidentally just weeded that one, which is so annoying because I've just lost him. I always seem to end up pulling up the wrong plants. What I'm going to do is just trim this along the edge of the lawn. I like to leave it a bit long for wildlife, but I am just going to trim it down a little bit because it is a little bit too long right now for my liking. See, now I'm really happy with that. I think that's worked really well. The grass is still quite long at the ends for wildlife, and I'll let it grow up a little bit longer, but it's just had a bit of a neat trim, and now the border just looks nice and contained and controlled, but still quite wild and happy and full of flowers. And I've got my neighbour's roses coming over the top here, which adds to the cottage garden feel. So altogether, if I come back a bit, look at that, really pretty. So, I wanted to do a quick update on my little courtyard vegetable garden, which is about 1.5 metres by 6 metres. It's right outside my kitchen and my back room, so it's ideal just to grow vegetables here really. I wanted to show you a little update of it because so much is growing now, and my mission is to get as much fruit and veg growing here as I physically can fit in the space, which means growing a lot of it vertically. But I've had a couple of other little projects that I've done down here that I really want to show you. So first of all, it's the tomatoes in buckets, and somebody commented and said that you can buy £1 B&Q buckets and they're perfect size for tomatoes. So I've drilled some holes in them and I've got 3 tomatoes in them, which so far look really happy and healthy in the little buckets. So they have got holes drilled in the bottom, like I said, and yeah, they're great. Planted a little bit of basil next to some of my tomatoes and this one as well, and it's just shop brought basil, you know, the little herbs that you buy in pots from the supermarket. I've just basically potted them in there, so I don't know if they'll do anything, but basil and tomato grow really well together, so they're in there. Carrots doing really well. Fennel, I've got rosemary there. I've got the potatoes are just exploding. I've got my cauliflower. And then this is my Jack B. Little. He's not been eaten by slugs and snails yet, so I'll get at least one Jack B. Little, I'm pretty sure. And then the peas over here have started to flower, which is just really beautiful and exciting. And what gorgeous flowers they are. They're kind of like sweet peas, aren't they? All from the pea family. Beautiful. I wanted to show you what I've done to this. So what I basically did is I staple gunned some old compost packets to the inside, filled it with compost and put some drainage holes in the bottom, and this one's got, I think, radishes, and the top one has got lettuce, so we'll see if that works. But yeah, I thought that was quite a quick, easy little thing to do, and quite effective. If it grows anyway, it'll be really effective. And then behind me here, it's starting to fill up now. So I've got my courgette. I managed to actually germinate one courgette, so I thought I'd whack him in there when he's a little bit bigger and he can grow in this little grow bag. I've got my beetroot here, and I'm hoping to grow a cucumber up the trellis, so I've left a bit of room here for a cucumber to go in. And then here I've got my broccoli, which is doing amazing. And then I've got obviously my herb garden, which I showed you last time, which is just doing really well, and it's so beautiful sitting on the windowsill like this. It's just so pretty. So here is the sweet corn that I've actually managed to germinate. I can't believe it. Here it is. It's a Swift variety, F1, Swift F1 I think. It's the variety that I grew last year and it's supposed to be quite easy. It's quite a short variety of sweet corn, so they don't grow massively tall. Now sweet corn don't actually like their roots being disturbed, so repotting them is not a brilliant idea, but because I've sown them in this module tray, and I'll show you how deep it is, it's that deep, the roots are kind of getting a little bit like they're not deep enough. They like longer pots basically. What I should have done is sown them directly into these, which are 7.5 centimetre pots, and they would have been happier because their roots can go down deeper. Or get root trainers, but they're so expensive, the root trainer ones, where basically it's a lot deeper and then it opens out so you don't really have to disturb their roots at all, but I just couldn't afford it. And to be honest, I didn't actually think they'd germinate, so it's sort of my fault. So I'm going to repot them now into some pots. I did it last year, it worked fine. I got some sweet corn. Not tons, but you know, some. So we'll take our pot, and I've just got some normal multi-purpose peat-free compost, which we'll put in, and what we'll do is we'll just be really gentle so as not to disturb the roots. Try and disturb them as little as possible, I mean, because obviously I'm going to disturb them a bit. Just going to pull it quite gently out like that. Look, see the roots? You see that, how they're sort of bending round? It's because they want to go really deep, because it's such a big plant it needs deep roots, so it's just not a happy bunny. I don't even know if these are going to be deep enough, but I think they're better than the modules. There we go. I'll put them in like that. A bit more. This should hopefully top up his nutrients as well, because I've sown them in Koya product, so it's not got the best nutrients in it. So there he is. Let's do the rest of him. So last year I had my little teepee here where I had sweet peas going up it, and I planted nasturtiums around it, and this year they've self-seeded and sown themselves and planted themselves all around it, and I've also got some other ones coming up over by the archway. And the good thing about nasturtiums is that slugs and snails love them, and I'm going to dig these up, put them into pots and take them to the plot with me and put them around my new pumpkin arch, like my new pumpkins when I put them out, in the hope that they will just sort of deter the snails. Last year that did work. I did have nasturtiums planted underneath my pumpkins, and my pumpkins weren't really affected by slugs and snails, so that's something I'm going to try. Thank you for all the love about my pumpkins. Don't worry about it. I have sown some more. I've sown like loads more Jacoby Littles and Baby Boos, so I will get some pumpkins, and they don't seem to be interested in Ukiki Kuri, so if worse comes to worse I'll just plant that. I've got a Jacoby Little down here as well which I can look after, but I really appreciate all the slug and snail defences. I'm reading through them and I'm investigating and I'm thinking about upping my slug defences, so I'll let you know how I get on with that, of course, and I will see you again on Friday. I hope I've inspired you to get out in your gardens and enjoy them and do a bit of gardening, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.